G'day guys, welcome to another layout. This one is using KAISERCRAFT paper pad that was sent to me by Sonia. Thank you so much, Sonia. This one's for you. This is one that I decided I've been asked to do, and I've got a little bit of a list. I've been asked to create a masculine layout using things that are not necessarily masculine. So I pulled out this paper pad. This paper pad is called STARTGAZER. It's a 6.5 by 6.5 paper pad. And I've gone ahead and I've scored and folded my pieces that I thought I was going to use all of. And you can see me now trying to figure out how to cut the paper without it going dodgy. I'm going to create a couple of rosettes. I want them to be 3 different sizes, and this paper actually stood up really well to this, believe it or not. I am beating it up something chronic. I didn't measure anything because I hate measuring. Measuring's overrated. So I thought I was going to create some sort of corrugated look. I've kept the pieces I didn't use, and I will use them on something else. But I decided to scrap some photos of my husband and his dad. So, and I've titled this one Just Two Dads Laughin'. So it was a really nice day actually. Now, this is how you make a rosette. Super duper simple. You go along and you score your piece of paper every 1/4 of an inch. And if you have a hot melt glue gun, that makes this process right at the, sorry, Jen was drawing. And so you go along and you score it all, and then you fold it backwards, forwards, like we used to do with fans back in the day. And then you just glue one tip to the other and try and make your strips the same width. But if you don't want to measure and you want to just do it like I was, just hack away at it, she'll be right. And then you just glue the 2 ends together. And when you glue the 2 ends together, then when you fandangle it around and you squish it down into a circle, it stays in a circle. And it gives you really good dimension on your page. And to be honest, I'll show you how I get around the layering them up, because they are a 1/4 inch thick. So if you do these too often in your album, you're going to end up with an album so thick it'll be thicker than a Catholic Bible. Like it's way too thick. But every now and then it's not too bad. And I thought rosettes, you know, they're not necessarily they're not masculine, they're not feminine, they could be just like a number 1 dad, a ribbon, any of those sort of things. So you can see here I've created a dark one. I'm just pulling these circle punch out pieces out of the paper pad that I possibly wouldn't even use. So instead of punching more circles, I decided to do those ones and stick them down. Now, while they're drying, I'm coming in here and I am going to do a little bit of mixed media on this page. I did decide that I was thinking about a title, and I was thinking about different bits and pieces. Now I pulled out my circle punches and I decided to pull out some of these little, I don't know, they're small little bits of ephemera that you can fussy cut. You can add them to a card. You could do whatever you wanted with them. But I thought if I cut them into a circle, then they would be a good centerpiece for my rosettes. Now, I cut some black and silver glitter. And then once I cut these, and I realized I wanted them to be off-centered because, you know, dads, let's be honest, dad jokes, they're a bit off-centered. And then I realized it was too dark. So I then grabbed the silver, sort of more gunmetal grey glitter, and I added that around the black. And it does make a difference when you look at it on the actual rosette. So at the end, when I zoom in on it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I am coming in here with so I'm just getting a rough idea of where those bits and pieces are going to be. There's no point in focusing all your stencil work and ink and all that sort of bizzo, I totally sprayed my hand with that one. I did better that time. I got the cloth and, you know, because these two colours that I'm using, they are the Distress Oxide sprays. I'm using Chipped Sapphire and Uncharted Marina. I'm spraying them down onto my Dina Wakley Perspex. It's a stamping block, but I use it for anything, and I use it for all my mixed media now. And I'm just using some makeup sponges to get a very uneven brick look. That's what I was going for. And I'm trying to just do it very, very lightly. Just, if you do this, start off lightly, because can you see these bricks down the bottom? They're so dark compared to the top ones, and I much prefer the ones at the very, very top. So I'm trying to just add a little bit here and a little bit there, just so I'm not necessarily trying to follow the pattern all the way across. But you can see obviously the big white patch in the center is because that's where my photo is going to be. Now I added some water. This is how I'm going to end up with two different colored splatters using the same ink. So I diluted the leftover oxide spray that was on my mat, and I splattered that down. I dried that, and now I'm splatting it straight from the bottle. And I'm using a little bit of tumbled glass here as well, I didn't want to use white, because if you use white paint, it changes to the color anyway, because it's water reactive. So I decided to use tumbled glass just to get a bit of a different color going on there. And I really like that. It's mixed media, but it's subtle. It's not full on crazy mixed media. Although I do feel like doing that this afternoon. It's actually Monday afternoon when I'm recording all this, and I'm finished work. Kids are at training, doing their thing and whatever. And, you know, I'm just having a chill out now. And this is where I show you how I get around having these two rosettes next to each other, but not doubling them up. Because ages ago, eons ago, I actually did a layout with the rosettes, and I've layered the two rosettes on top of each other, and I'm actually going to pull that apart before I put it in my album, because it's just way too thick. So you can see there, all I did was trace the edge of the smaller one, just so I could cut out like a Pac-Man mouth out of the other one. And that way they sit in there nicely, they nook in together, and it's all good. Now I put some glitter. I mounted my photo with some white and silver. It was a celestial sort of solar system kind of paper. You can see it off to the right hand side there. I mounted the photo onto that to give it a nice white border. Then I put the glitter cardstock, but I felt like it was too perfect. Like the border was too perfect. Even if I had have distressed the edges, it still was going to be too perfect. So I thought I will come back to this. No, I do it now. Okay. I thought I was going to come back to it, but I ended up using the same paper. So this is just using the same one again, but I'm tearing the edges, and you can see I'm just adding, just to give it more of an imperfect finish. And I love that so much more. I think because of the mixed media in the back, I've been doing a lot of, probably the last week or so, I've done a lot of paper heavy layouts, you know, paper layering, paper strips, all that sort of stuff. And I love doing all of those things. But this is my UNIBALL SIGNO broad silver pen. It is pigment ink, so it sits on top of whatever you've put it on top of, and it's nice and reflective, and it's just a few circles. And I've pulled out some circle stamps. This is all because I've created those rosettes, so I'm trying to create these circles more around the photo. And I'm just going to town. I'm using some, I didn't realize that I was holding, I'm sorry, I just didn't realize I was holding the photo in front of where I was stamping. Sorry about that. So I'm just adding these stamps. I'm using the Distress Oxide. What am I using? I'm using VERSAFINE black ONYX black ink. I'm using chipped sapphire, and I think I used a little bit of tumbled glass as well, just to add these circles, just to add more visual interest into the background. In real life, you can see it a lot more. Now, I'm adding more of the silver on there because it's adding more reflection and shimmer. Now, it's a masculine layout, so go to town, guys. You got this. It's not difficult. The bricks, I probably would have liked them, and I could have wet them, but I didn't really want to go to town with the water on the paper. I didn't want to warp it too much, because trying to get those rosettes to attach, and now the art glitter glue has dried, it's not a problem. But I should have done my border. Listen to me, don't do as I do, do as I say. Do the border before you put the rosettes on, because you will see the trouble I have trying to get my border nice and even. I'm just using the chipped sapphire. See the problem I've got? Chipped sapphire to create a border. As soon as I did that, it was okay. Then I was right. I still have this thing. I said 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now, that I'll move on past this border phase. It'll just be fleeting. 2.5 years later, or 2 years and 3 months later, I'm still going on it. I still haven't given up on it. I felt like it needed a little bit more sparkle or shimmer. I know it's two guys. I know that. I know it's a masculine layout. But why can't you have just a little bit of sequins on there, just to create a little bit of something different? And then, of course, the elephant in the room. Check out that big white corner. Don't worry. I had a plan for it all along. Oh, this cough is hanging on, guys. It's driving me crazy. I swear, it's tipping me over the edge. Oh. So I am going to just draw my title. I'm just going to do it with handwriting. Give it a go. I know you think to yourself that your handwriting's not neat, it's not tidy, it's all that sort of thing. If you're not feeling confident because you haven't done it for a while, do what I did. Do it in pencil and then go over it. There's no right or wrong font. There's no... You just wing it and, you know, make your ends, your tails and all your up and down strokes, make them wider. You know, there's so many different YouTubers out there that are so much better with their writing than what I am. But this is a really cool way of getting a title without having to add all the, you know, having cricket or having stickers or trying to create an offset or all that sort of thing. If you've got some POSCA paint pens, go to town and just write it on there. And because it's on a brick wall, it kind of looks a bit graffiti-ish. So I did it in my black, and then I went over it with my light. It says it's pastel blue. It sort of looks more cornflower blue to me, but anyway. And then I ran the black around the outside edge so that I've got my black on there 3 times and it feels balanced. So that, I think, is my layout, guys. Let me know what you think. Is it masculine enough or is it not masculine enough? I did add a little bit of silver onto my circle centers, and on my light one there I did a bit of black, and that's my layout. Let me know what you think. Super duper simple, masculine, using some blue papers, and yeah. I'll have everything listed in the description below for you. Don't forget that I've got my Facebook group and my Instagram links in the description below. And I will be back with you. This is Wednesday, so I've got one more video. I'll do Friday. Oh, that's Good Friday. So Good Friday, I'll be doing a live, guys. So if you want to catch me on a live, I will be on in the morning on Good Friday. Thank you so much. That's my time, Queensland time, FYI. Thanks for watching, guys. Chat to you then. Bye for now.